All right, so oh, fly. All right, excuse the fly if it's in it. Everybody want to be famous. Anyway, that has. uh, so this morning it is about 4:30 in the morning. Probably been up for about an hour. So I've since I haven't done anything in the past couple of days, I wanted to do this since I'm up. I recently kind of just received like a little message of what I should talk about because I was drawing blanks in the past few days. So, before we get into it, let's do a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day above ground. We thank you for your many blessings. We appreciate all the opportunities you've given us, and we try to make the best of everything that we do. Please guide my tongue, my words. Let me speak with clarity. Clarity. Already messing up. Let me speak with clarity and just from the heart. And please, please help my words come through as if they were coming through out of you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So, coming up next month will be my mom's 1 year anniversary, not anniversary, but the full year of her passing. So I woke up this morning thinking that I feel we need to stop. What's that word? We need to stop. I'm sorry, we need to break generational curses. And I've been hearing a lot about that on social media. Everyone's talking about it. But I don't feel like no one really knows how to do it. I'm learning in life that everyone will tell you to do something, but there's no explanation. Perfect example. Everyone says I talk low and I need to speak with my chest. I've never, even Kim be like, hey, when you speak, talk loud. And so I would say something, I repeat it, and she'd be like, no, that's just deeper. I'm like, well, I don't know how to talk loud. Like when I do talk loud, then I'm just yelling. So recently, I've just learned you got to ask questions. I was always bad at that, but now I'm getting better. So a coworker told us we have to breathe from our teaching us how to breathe, and he said breathe from your diaphragm, and I was like, what does that mean? How do you do that? And he just simplified it for me. So everybody should try this, by the way, if you don't know, especially if you work out. So when you breathe in, just push your stomach out, and boom, there you go. Once he told me that, I promise you, the next couple of days, the next day just really felt better for me because learning how to breathe like that took away a lot of anxiety. It helps me speak more clearly now because now I understand what people tell me when they say you need to pause when you speak. So in life, it's not that, well, in life, nothing comes with instructions. And it's your job to ask the question, to understand that, to help, to get your understanding. And I guess a lot of people will tell you the way to go, but the problem is we don't reciprocate it and get, no, I'm sorry, I don't think that's the word I'm trying to use. Let me not sound smart right now. We don't take in what they say clearly. We don't have clarity with what they say. So someone can tell you, hey, say it with your chest. And then you'll go about it just, yeah, I'm saying it with my chest. And you think lifting up says it with your chest. And no one will say, no, breathe in. And as you're breathing in, expand your stomach. So, with that being said, everyone, lots of people are talking about breaking generational curses. And for me, since it's almost the anniversary of my mom's passing, I've come to realize that I'm not emotionally caring. Might be a different word for it, but this is what I'm trying to say. As a kid, my mom loved me. I was her world. However, she didn't give me as many hugs. And not saying that there was anything wrong with that, but I was growing up, I was the only child in the house. I do have a sister, but she just wasn't living with us. So it was always just me and my mom. And looking back on it, I pretty much got to do whatever I wanted to do. People say I was spoiled. I don't think I was spoiled. Mom, I was just fortunate, definitely blessed. But lack of better words, my mom had her shit together. We was still like on the east side of Chicago. We was still in the hood, but compared to other kids, like we were doing well. I didn't think we were doing well because she never bought me a pair of Jordans. But when you look at it overall, we were doing pretty well. Um, However, as well as we were doing, we weren't. I kind of realized we just, we, she wasn't doing well in the emotional part of our relationship, and to her, it's not her fault, but I've learned that if you've never seen anything growing up, you're not gonna know how to give it because before she passed, we were always just talk. And she told me that her mom and grandfather, out of, I'm sorry, her mom and her dad, out of their whole life, she can only remember one time her mother ever gave her a hug. And she said that my grandfather never gave her a hug. Never. And when she told me that, I got to thinking, like, you know what? He's never given me a hug either. But he loved us. But however, you can't fault grandparents for not doing something that they don't know. So, coming back to all of this, my wife gets on me a lot because I don't have that type of infection. And it's not that I don't have it, you just don't know to do it when you weren't brought up with it. And me and her, we go back and forth all the time. And not really back and forth, but more so just talking about the different ways we were growing up. And it's not right, it's not wrong or whatever. It's more so I believe in one thing and she believes in another. So we're working on have how can we meet in the middle? So this is one of the issues that we face. Kim's more emotional supportive. I'm not. I know I'm not because last week my daughter literally asked me, like, man, Dad, do you even care about me? I said, ouch. But I understood what she meant. Um, and I told her, I was like, yes, I do care about you. And for once, I never thought about like money as caring. Back in the day, when she was first born, I figured, and a lot of parents do, they figure, oh, I bought my kid this. Oh, I'm taking my kid here. Oh, I'm doing this for my kid. Oh, I love him. And I was heavy on that. I was very, very big. But as I grew coming, I started realizing that, nah, it's deeper than that. It's deeper. You really have to teach your kids. And Bruce Lee has a quote that says, don't raise your kids by buying them things. Instead, I'm sorry, I messed that up. Don't buy your kids things you never had. Instead, teach your kids things you wish you had known. And that really hit where I was like, oh, I really got to start doing things differently if I want a different outcome, thus breaking generational curses. So, excuse me. Even now, I'm still new to that. I'm still working on it because I have a tough time speaking to my daughter because um, when I left Chicago 10 years ago, she was not able to come with me until another 5 years later. She would always come visit, winter break, summer break, spring break, whenever. However, those times that we spent together wasn't long enough for me to really know the person that she was becoming. So when she moved with us, I just thought like, oh, you're in a better state, better environment. Uh, got you a nice crib. I thought everything that I've accomplished financially per se made up will make up for our time lost. But no, I realized that I had to spend time with her, talk to her, get to know her, to really understand what she's going through. And even now, I'm still working on it. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I still have a long way to go. And she's been here for 5 years. But it's just that understanding of learning to grow. You have to be cool with accepting growth. And we're still working on it. And not saying, of course, like I didn't. We're not having fun. No, nothing like that. It's more so I don't want her to be. Of course, I want her to be better than I was. So I want her to know these things moving forward before it could be more damaging. Maybe in like a relationship that she really cared about but didn't know how to express herself. So I wouldn't want that for her because I feel like I could have done a lot of things differently in the past, but we don't dwell on the past. Everything happens for a reason. But looking back on it, I just know I wasn't always right. Well, my way wasn't always right, and I didn't realize I just needed help. And once again, I'm sure people didn't know how they could help me because no one could explain to me what I just explained, what I need. So, oh, and another thing with the whole growing up differently, uh, Kim always calls me spoiled because, I mean, selfish, sorry, because I don't like to share my clothes. And it's not that I don't like to share my clothes, but I don't like to share my clothes. Like, stop wearing my flops. Don't put on my hoodies. Don't take my t-shirts. I'm sorry. Once you like take one of my t-shirts or my hoodie, that's yours now. Nothing bad. I'm not a germ. Well, maybe sort of a germaphobe, but that's not the reason. I don't know. It's like the clothes just don't fit right no more. And I can't say Kim stretched it out because even when Jari, she's smaller than me, she'll wear something and I get it back and I just be like, it's not the same. Like, ugh. But that's just a me thing. But I don't feel like I'm selfish. I just feel like that's just one of my characteristics. I can't explain to you why I'm like that. I'm just am. But I would gladly give you the hoodie or the shirt. I just don't want it back. Um, and with Kim, I feel because she had a brother and a sister growing up, it was three of them in the household, so she understands sharing a little bit more than I would. And that's one of those things where we grew up differently and we have to kind of meet in the middle. I definitely don't know how to meet in the middle with that, but I will say I did wear the hoodie that one of them wore, and I was disgusted. It was tough. But going back to the generational curses, more so, I feel like you will have to get clarification with a lot of things in order to understand what you need to do. Because, like I said, life doesn't come with instructions. So, it is definitely your job to ask the right questions and not figure it out, but figure out how to apply what they're saying to what you know, or just ask for an example. But however you ask for it, make sure you do ask because that is very important. Um, I recently watched someone's podcast on my homeboy Devin. He has a podcast called Broken Kings. Make sure y'all check that out on YouTube. and he had Beasley on there, one of our homeboys, and he was talking about family reunions, and it made me think that that's another generational curse we gotta kind of break again. We gotta start it again. I really like miss my family. The last time we were together was about this time last year when my mom was alive, and I flew her back to Chicago. We saw each other, kicked it, and it was a great feeling. And we said we was gonna start being together more besides just funerals. So that's another thing that kind of kept me up because I was thinking like I'm just gonna set a date, um, call a couple of my cousins, and just see if they can help me. And it don't matter if 50 people show up or 5 people show up. It's just the fact that I just want to get started again. And I just feel like being around people nowadays is more so a necessity because of all the social media. Like, it's more euphoric than just looking to see on a screen what people are doing. Like, you want an interaction. You should want someone laughing, uh, push you as a joke, touch you on the shoulder, give you a hug. And we've gotten so far away from that that everyone is just cool being isolated. I'm thinking even about my daughter. Like, she just sits in her room, in a dark room all day. Like, that's crazy. Even when, as a kid, when I was young, I would always open up the blind. If I was to sit in my room, and then why would I sit in my room? I'm going to the front where the big TV is, you know? So, yeah, and plus, I feel like my daughters should know her cousins and her aunties and uncles. I was literally thinking about my dad used to always tell me, man, you should call your uncles. You should call your uncles. Of course, if I've never seen it done or didn't know how to do it, I just wasn't sure. But one day I did like just kind of call my uncles, and I realized, man, I'm missing out. These these mugs funny. So, and I'm even gonna do that today. That's on my checklist. I'm gonna make sure I call my uncles because you never know the type of wisdom, knowledge, or just experiences you can gain just by reaching out and calling them. Especially my uncles. Oh man, now that I think about it, they might give me some material. But yeah, in a nutshell, feel like that's it. That's what was on my mind this morning. As always, please subscribe, hit that like button, share button. I don't know, whatever they be saying on YouTube. I more so just want to know that someone's out there listening. Um, and also, please leave comments. Let me know what I should talk about, your views, opinions. I love to hear from you, read them. Um, you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. Thanks for listening. Light up.